PigglesDiGaijin here, Jamaican YouTuber. I'm going to do a reaction to a video done by Shetravels called Teaching in Japan versus Teaching in Jamaica, or the other way around. So let's see what she has to say.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a different kind of video for you. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience teaching in Jamaica versus my experience now teaching in Japan. So I was teaching in Jamaica before coming to Japan. So I was there for 4.5 years.
4 years
teaching. And I've been here now for 4.5 years. So same. And in Jamaica I used to teach a foreign language. I used to teach 2 foreign languages actually, French and Spanish. And now I'm teaching a foreign language here, English. Right, so the experience is similar in that regard. After that, there aren't many similarities. There are actually quite a few differences.
Okay.
Right, so let's get into some of the differences. First off, the teaching hours. So in Jamaica, I'd go to school for 8 o'clock, I think. I think it was 8 o'clock. I've forgotten, to be honest. But I think I used to go to school for 8 o'clock. And school ended at about 3. Probably earlier, probably 2:30 or something.
Yeah, my school when I was going to school.
Or 3. But anyways, it didn't go past 3 o'clock, I think. Right? And so as soon as, school ended, you could pick up your bags and leave. Nobody was watching to say, oh, you're leaving early, which is what happens here in Japan.
Oh my God.
You're actually not supposed to leave before, like, your seniors. So if your senior is going to stay at work and work, then you're supposed to stay at work and work.
That's just some crap.
Now I say work because you have these people who have nothing to do, but because of the stigma of leaving early, they'll sit at school and they'll stay at their desk and copy some things and send things to the printer. They go to the copy machine and copy. They go to the shredder and shred, and all these things to make people think that they are working.
Wow.
You are not working. Stop. All lies. In my case, I work from 8:30 to 4:15 at one school, and then 8:15 to 4 o'clock at the other school, and at 4:15 I am out. Like at 4:13 I start shutting down my computer. I start preparing myself to leave. I have no reason to sit back with you in the staff room while you pretend to work. I have a life. Not a great life, but a life nonetheless. The next thing is the holidays. So while we're talking about working hours, we can also talk about holidays. So in Jamaica we get summers off. Well, we used to, because I've heard that things have gotten a lot different. I can tell you, here in Japan you get 20 paid holidays for the year. And
I only get 10.
You get public holidays off as well.
And the increase per whatever.
You need holidays.
2 years.
I can say that without a doubt. Working in a system where I had and working in one where I don't have, even if the kids aren't at school, you have to come to school. It makes absolutely no sense. The teachers are so stressed. Number one, they stay at school until 9 o'clock, midnight. So in Japan, each class is 50 minutes. The students get a 10-minute break between classes, which I find really important. You need that 10-minute break to kind of refresh yourself and, move from class to class. And, it's very important. You can build some friendships in that 10 minutes.
Right.
In Jamaica, we move from one class to the next. There was no break in between.
Yeah, that's true.
In my case, I don't know about other schools, but where I was, there was no break in between.
Like when I was a student.
I was at a pretty prominent high school as well.
I can recall that.
Yeah. But anyways, there's no break in between classes in Jamaica. And so I think it was very difficult for the teachers because you're running from one class to the next.
Class.
For example, if I had a 2nd form French class and I had to move to a 5th form Spanish class,
you have to run.
Then, I'd be moving from one end of the school to the next. And it was almost impossible. You're definitely going to be late for class.
At least 2
And then by the time you actually get there, you're kind of tired because you're running, and I might be speaking Spanish in a French class, or, it was a hassle. However, homeroom teachers, oh my God, they do the most. So they get to school at maybe about 7, sometimes earlier, and they don't leave until like 10 o'clock at night, sometimes midnight. It depends. I have a school that is quite energetic.
Hell no.
So the students require a lot of supervision. Yeah. If the student gets into any sort of trouble, the first person that they will call will be the homeroom teacher. So in that regard, I really appreciate my job in Jamaica. I mean, there were challenging moments. You know, kids will be kids, boys will be boys, girls will be girls. And every variation of that. So you're gonna have good kids, you're gonna have bad kids. You're gonna have kids who want to be in school and those who don't. You're gonna have kids with like deep family issues. And so it was very tough for me when I was teaching in Jamaica because I started when I was 21.
Wow.
And so I don't think I was experienced enough to deal with it. And so when the kids would tell me some, you know, serious things, I just didn't know what to do. I don't think I gave them proper advice to, you know, when I just started out. Afterwards, you know, I got a little more comfortable and, you know, I kind of fully accepted the responsibility, but it did become a little bit too much for me at times. Here in Japan, I don't have to worry about that. That's not my job.
Yeah, and
what is my job though? Really my job is to plan lessons, to go to class, to teach, to sometimes mark tests, and whatever other requests my teachers might have of me. Lesson planning is not compulsory here in Japan, right? Especially for me. So I work with a Japanese teacher. So the Japanese teacher is supposed to be the main teacher, and I'm supposed to be the assistant.
Wow.
As my job title suggests.
Interesting.
However, you know, in Japan, everybody's situation is different. People tell you ESID all the time. Every situation is different. But in my case, I plan all my lessons. They don't have to plan anything. They just show up at class. Even when I give them the lesson plans, they tend to not even read them. They just show up.
Well, that's a waste of time.
So when you have an ALT, which is my job, an assistant language teacher, who is experienced, because I, you know, taught foreign languages for years, I'm a little bit experienced. And so because of that, the teachers kind of feel like, it's okay, we don't have to plan anything. We don't have to do anything. Sheena will do it. So that can be very annoying. But the thing is, I'm kind of a control freak when it comes to my classes. So I do like planning everything. I do like...
Oh, we have a commercial break, guys. Please wait 1 second while I try to skip this advertisement.
Being in control of my class. So sometimes it works out well for me, but other times it's just like, at least read the lesson plan. At least do that,
I mean,
you know?
Work, really.
Which is strange because in Jamaica we had to write lesson plans. I don't have to write any lesson plans over here. But I had to write lesson plans in Jamaica and I hated them. Because I had like 8 classes, 8 different classes per week. And you're not meeting them once a week. You're meeting them like 4 or 5 times for the week. So it was a lot for me. I was not coping at all. I think now I'm in a much better position to cope because like I think the foundation that was set back in Jamaica when I had to write lesson plans, like that has definitely helped me here because I'm much better at writing lesson plans now. I actually prefer writing them because it gives me kind of like a great idea of what I'm going to do, and especially now because I'm super busy with school. I have 2 schools now, so I'm super busy, so it helps me to, you know, be 100% prepared for all my classes. Next thing that I could mention would be the salary. I hinted on it before, but in Japan the salary is definitely much better. So the Jamaican dollar, 1 Jamaican dollar is equal to about 1 Japanese yen, pretty much 1 to 1. The thing is, the things that you can buy in Jamaica, you can buy a lot more. If I was getting this salary in Jamaica, I would have been balling. I would have been just rolling in dough.
Believe me, brother.
Like, seriously, nobody could even talk to me. I'd have been that.
I was working at a bank and I'm getting more money here
But
now.
here in Japan, things are way more expensive, like 6-7 times more expensive. I remember when I was in Jamaica, I was paying about $80, 80 Jamaican dollars for my taxi fare. Or over here, we have to take buses because you don't want to know how much a taxi costs. But the bus, even on the bus in Kingston, for example, I was in Kingston, I'd pay like $60 on the JUTC bus. Over here, the same 20-minute ride that I would, you know, travel from one school to the next was $690. Like,
Yeah,
that's way
transportation is a
more
bit
than
more
10 times.
expensive.
Way more than 11 times,
Like
actually.
bus-wise.
You know?
I
So, it's way more expensive over here than in Jamaica. So you
That's
might
true.
you might end up, having the same situation where because you're getting way less pay in Jamaica,
You're able
but
to do
your
more.
cost of living is way less.
Disposable income is much higher.
Right, so
True.
things work out to be pretty much the same. The only difference is the stress is not really there, because in Jamaica, God, I was so stressed.
Poor thing.
Working, going to school every day, living from paycheck. I always tell people I used to live from paycheck to almost paycheck, because I'd be broke 1 week before payday. In Jamaica, sometimes your salary would be late. Can you imagine you're banking on your salary and they tell you, oh, it wasn't sent down, the ministry didn't send it down or whatever. In Japan, if you're supposed to get paid on this day, know that you're getting paid on that
Well,
day.
my pay never late.
No delay.
Yet because I work for the bank.
Super on time.
I can't ramp with
Very
you.
efficient where that is concerned. So, that's good. That's good. The class size definitely for me. Back then I had a class size of
40.
Oh, I need to leave now. I had a class size of about
40.
50 students. Sometimes I had 50 students,
Yeah.
45.
My class in high school
That was very
averaged
difficult to
36,
maintain.
36
But
to
here in
40.
Japan, I have 16, 17 students in a class. Sometimes 5. Yeah, my smallest class this year is 5.
teach up to
A few years ago,
12
the class size of
in my
2.
UK, wow.
So there were 2 students in my reading class. My second or third year, thereabouts. My writing class, I think it was. So that's very good. The class size is much better, much smaller, so that's good. The last thing that I could mention about teaching in Jamaica versus teaching in Japan is discipline. So when I was teaching in Jamaica, as I teach, for me, I had to discipline my students in class. So if the student decides to be disruptive or just a pain, then you had to figure out some sort of punishment, whether it be detention or whether you have them stand for an amount of time or whether you have them step outside. And I think now they've been trying to get rid of that where the students step outside, but I'm sorry, if you are being super disrespectful to me
Straight.
and preventing other students from learning,
Right.
I think it's very important that you step outside and reassess yourself.
Of course.
Like, figure out your life.
Order.
Because, things could get really dangerous in class. You don't want to be in there and the kid is being hella disrespectful. That's going to throw everything off. Or they take up a chair and throw it at you or something. Step outside and cool down. I don't have time to deal with you right now. Now, when you have a class size of 50 students, when you have 50 students in your class, it's not very easy to say, okay, you keep sitting there, or to focus on that one child. What happens to the other 49? Do we not let them learn that day because one kid decides that, hey, I don't want to do this? Nah. In Japan, though, I can't discipline the kids. Technically. I mean, I couldn't tell you your last I told someone, oh, stand up. Keep standing until you figure it out or something. I can't. The Japanese teachers are supposed to discipline the kids.
They don't discipline.
But God, they're lacking. I'm always so annoyed because I'm kind of a control freak in my class. I believe that the students should not be talking while I'm talking.
Simple
That's just
manners.
common decency. So I believe in that. When it's time for you to do your group work or whatever, go ahead. But I think once you're in class to learn.
Preach.
Like, I don't believe in sitting down and begging kids to focus on the class or focus on the lesson or whatever. No, like, you should make that conscious choice to be in there and learn. But some kids don't want to do that, so you have to find some sort of discipline method. Here in Japan, though, the kids don't want to learn and decides to be hella disrespectful. You look away while the other kids are like, "Ooh,
Right?
nothing's happening. Okay, I can be bad too."
Listen to me, man. Oh, God.
And that really annoys me. I always try to discipline them. Like, I've been known to kind of threaten them. I tell them, like, listen, I'm a very nice person, but if you decide to be talking while I'm talking, then I'm not gonna be nice. I don't think that they don't stick around to try to figure out how bad I can be. So these are my few differences between teaching in Jamaica and teaching in Japan. Part 2 is coming with students in Jamaica versus students in Japan, because that's also super different. Also, please look out for my other videos If you haven't subscribed as yet, please don't forget to subscribe.
Alright.
You know, give a thumbs up on this video, and I'll see you in the next
Bye,
one.
Sheena.
Bye.
Bye. Well, I'll tell you something about that video, there, boy. Sheena has spoken so many truths, and I am not even ALT. I teach at an English conversation school. One thing that stood out for me in the video was that she's unable to punish kids, just like in my ACAI. In my school, you're unable to punish kids. You can't punish them with anything, not even with speaking English, because then they'll use it, see it as a way of punishment, and they'll hate it. It's really hard because when you have kids that are unmotivated or kids that just come there because their parents force them, they end up giving a bad vibe to the rest of the class, and that, you know, that attitude and that unwillingness to learn kind of gets missed, kind of just throws off the whole thing. And so you have to be kind of be balancing this thing, because they're the customer. My job, basically, it's a customer and not a student. So if the customer becomes unhappy, they can actually file a complaint against you. Whether or not the complaint is valid, the company has to listen to it, and then they question your teaching, and one bag of ring. Yeah. Also, as you see, don't really believe all the hype about the kids that are super independent and that sort of thing, because yes, that's more of an exception than a rule, you know. Yeah, kids are kids, and yeah, although I never taught in Jamaica, I was a student in Jamaica, so I know all those little things that she said, that, you know, if I was to open my mouth to my teacher, like how they open their mouth here to me, I'd be either sent out to the class, my parents would be called, or detention or something to let me learn, and I wouldn't do it again. But these kids, discipline. What discipline? They have good kids and they have bad kids. That's basically it. Alright? So see you in the next video, guys. Please subscribe to Sheena. Show our video some love. Show our channel some love. And I'll see you in the next reaction video sometime soon. Alright? It was a bit long, but love you all. Peace. Hit that thumbs up. Share, subscribe. And I'll do some more reactions. Pull up! Pull up that yard man. No! Oh.